Hi, it's Christina with the Sisyphean Journal. Today's June 5th, and the anniversaries that I have for today are from the 1910s, and both of them involve midwives. Um, the abortion lobby doesn't want you to realize that prior to legalization, the standard issue abortion wasn't the woman just grabbing the rustiest coat hanger in the closet. Usually, as of the 1950s and 60s, they usually found a doctor. 90% of them found a doctor. And of the rest, most of them found somebody with medical skills, a nurse, a midwife, um, and even most of the lay abortionists that women turned to did have um, a medical professional who trained them, provided instruments and medications, and was there for backup in case there were complications. And, sadly, just as with any other situation, it doesn't always turn out the way you hoped. And they also tend to forget that medicine was not very advanced in 1914 and 1915. There wasn't much you could do about a hemorrhage or an infection. You didn't have transfusions, you didn't have antibiotics, you just had to hope for the best. And we have one death, June 5th, 1914. A 28-year-old woman named Mary of Astoria, New York, died in her home under peculiar circumstances. The coroner investigated and discovered that Mary had died from septicemia and blood poisoning due to an incomplete abortion. After questioning Mary's family and friends, the coroner concluded that the abortion had been perpetrated by a midwife. Now, I only got the information from the New York Index to Death Certificates. So there was no information about who the midwife in question was, what happened to the midwife in question. Was she arrested? Did she wind up in prison? And unfortunately, I haven't found anything on a newspaper search. But here we go. She went to a medical professional. And, in 1914, given the state of medicine, you're probably better off with a midwife than with a doctor. Then we have one that I found out about on the Homicide in Chicago Interactive Database. And that was on June 5th of 1915. A 25-year-old woman named Mary died at Chicago's St. Bernard's Hospital from an abortion. And a midwife named Veronica, she's got a Polish last name I'm not going to try to pronounce, was arrested and held by the coroner, but the case never went to trial. I've contacted the records office in Chicago, and nobody knows where these records are. They don't give any details. So I have no idea why Veronica was identified as the perpetrator, why the case never went to trial. I will keep looking.